Yeah, please connect. It's already time. Let's connect. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this session by Time on your GWPI preparation. So, as we all know, CAT 2025 is over, and we are now waiting for results. And the B schools which take admission through CAT have already started rolling out calls. So, as we speak today, one of the institutions, Great Lake, has already sent out calls, profile based calls for the next stage, which is GWPI. So let's go through the GWPI details today. Let's see what all is covered there and how we can prepare best so that we don't get eliminated in this round. Because a lot of efforts from all of you have gone by while preparing for the first stage, that is the aptitude test, which might be CAT, which might be SNAP, which might be NMAT, which might be Z to come or MyCat, maybe one or two. So there are various aptitude tests which all of you have gone by. And as we all know, nearly all the good institutions also have a stage 2. So first let us talk about the G of GWPI, which is group discussion. Now group discussion in itself says a lot. When we say group, the first thing is group and the second is discussion. So this is all about group as well as a discussion between that group. Okay, so let's talk about GD. What is a GD? GD is, first of all, as I said, group. It is not an individual activity. So around uh, I'll say 10 to 15 students, depends on the institute, though 15 is usually in lesser places, I'll say, but mostly it's between 10, 8 to 10, 8 to 12 students, you can say, who come and gather and discuss a particular topic. It is not a debate, please understand. Why is GD used as a selection parameter? Because GD shows many things. One, it shows your communication skills. Okay, and it shows not only your verbal communication but also non-verbal communication, something which is very important. In fact, research has it that nearly two-thirds of what we communicate is non-verbal. It is not verbal. The way your hand gestures move, the way your face emotions move, the way your voice modulation goes, they communicate much more than the words we speak. Okay, and that is why non-verbal communication becomes very important. Your body language, as we call it, becomes very, very important in such cases. And that is one thing which all of you have to keep in mind, especially during a GD. Of course, during interview as well, but especially during a GD, how you behave in that group. Do you give respect to each and every participant? Do you give respect to each and every discussion topic uh, or not? Everything matters in a group discussion. And please remember, this is not one-on-one debate. I'm repeating it. This is not a debate. This is a discussion. Keep it healthy. Keep it formal. Okay. Nearly all the good B schools use GDs as one of their selection criteria. During COVID, yes, they moved away from GD because it was not easy to have an online GDs. But after COVID, now by and by, nearly all the institutes are coming back to GDs. So the format, as we said, on an average 8 to 12 participants. However, it varies from B school to B school. Some B school can even have 15 and even have as low as 5 participants. Okay, the more the number of participants, sometimes more chances of GD becoming a fish market. Okay, something which you guys need to avoid, because once it is a fish market, what is meant by fish market? The fish market means there will be lot many voices and not even a single one will be audible. Okay, so obviously you want to be audible, so do others. So typically you will be given 2 to 5 minutes to think, to maybe chalk out your strategy, maybe note down your points. It's always good to have at least 5 to 8 different unique points written with you. In case you are not able to think about unique points, it's also okay if you maybe bring in new examples from the same points, or maybe re-give your points by changing the language. If you don't have points, if you have new points, is always good to bring in new dimensions to the discussion. And it can happen that the points which you want to discuss might be brought in by somebody else. And that is why it's better to have more points in your kitty. Again, I'm saying if you don't have that much points in your kitty, it's okay if you bring it with examples, you bring new examples, or you bring in the same points, maybe with some variation, maybe with variation in language only. But you have to make a good number of points. Okay. Typically 10 to 20 minutes to discuss. Some institutions sometimes give unlimited time as well. They say, okay, you discuss, once you are out of point, we will call it off. Right? MDI does so few times, that they'll even give you maybe more than half an hour to discuss. And they usually have smaller groups, around 7 people as well. So different institute follow different format. There will be 1 or 2 moderators, which are typically the professors at the B school, or maybe the distinguished alumni who are sitting there and checking it out. Very rarely you might even see 3 moderators. Dress code is very important. Very important. Now, in a GD, typically you sit across a round table, typically, or maybe a rectangular table. And because everybody sits on chairs around that table, your complete body is visible. So your dress should be in such a way that you are comfortable to sit in such a manner that uh, your legs, your feet, when everything means your full body is visible typically. So your dressing should be in such a way that you are comfortable with it. So make sure you dress to impress. We'll talk about that as well. Okay. So as I said, every B school has got its own format. There can be some variations to it. So nothing is rigid here. It depends from B school to B school and sometimes group to group. It might happen that in your group they have nominated 10 people and only 6 turn up for the for on that day for the GD. So you will have only 6 people sitting there. This is quite possible. In some cases, they merge 2 groups. Maybe 6 plus 6, they might make 12. Whereas otherwise, they are taking maybe 10 only in a group. So everything is possible. And this obviously will not happen for ABC. But yes, for other B schools, wherein the candidates are very much, you can say, already confident of going into a top B school, they may or may not like to attend these particular GDs. So GDs, typically you will have topic-based GDs, which can be a general topic. We'll discuss few examples as well. There can be a knowledge-based GD. There can be an abstract topic-based GD, which can be case study-based, article-based, or anything else. We will talk about all these in coming slides. So in a general topic-based, they are not knowledge intensive, but here you have to think more. You have to think more because you have to come up with unique points. Now just imagine you have got, let's say, 15 minutes to talk and there is a group of 10 people. Now typically in such a scenario, you should have a entry every 2 minutes. And that means around 7 to 8 entries. 7 to 8 entries means 7 to 8 good points. But there is a group of 12 people, 10 to 12 people already there. Let's say 10 people already there. Now 10 people, 8 points means 80 points, typically. But that will not happen. Means even if you, let's say, spend an hour on this topic, coming up with 80 points is not easy. Yes, some of them might not have that much points. Some of them might not even speak. But some of them might have more points to speak or will try to speak the same point again and again with different variations. And that is where thinking in such topics becomes very difficult to come up with a new point every time. And some of the samples, you can see one of the sample on the screen, men or women who makes a better manager. Now, it's not very easy to speak on this topic. It might see a general topic, something which all of us know. We know the two genders, we know a lot about those two genders, but it is never easy to come up. And please never speak controversial things. Okay, never speak controversial things. You might get negative score for that. Okay, though GD is not an elimination in itself, but still GD has got a scoring with it. Typically 15 to 30, 40% you can say weightage is given to GD on overall basis for your final call. So obviously you will not like to do bad here. Should mobile phones be banned in college? Now this is comparatively easier one. I'll say less controversial. Is love marriage better than arranged marriage? So again, something where you'll have to think a lot. On a knowledge based GD, now these are typically what is happening around the world. So should the reservation policy be extended to private sector? Now here you need to know about the reservation policy, the reason behind that, why this policy is there, how it helps, how it does not help, both viewpoints, right? And why it is there only in public sector or the government sector and not private sector till date. Means the reservation is there for more than 70 years now. Why it is still not in private sector? Why is that a debatable topic? So you need to know all this. You cannot just go on there and start talking without having at least a bit of knowledge. Not the complete knowledge, of course. You are not a politician debating in parliament. It's a discussion, but yes, you need to know about the topics. Farmer agitations, are they justified? We have seen in last 5-6 years a lot of farmer agitations on various issues, right? So you need to know a bit about them. The farm laws which government took back, coronavirus lessons for the future. Now coronavirus is something which whether we like it or not, nearly all of us were impacted by it in a way or other, and mostly negative around the world. So what we have learned from coronavirus, okay, how we intend to make maybe future pandemics better, if there is any. First of all, obviously we should not have any, but in case if we have, how can we make the world better? So all those things, these are knowledge based topics, though they look more like journal topics, but they are knowledge based topics where you need to know about the topic in detail. Now, how to prepare for such topics? The only way to prepare about such topics is to read newspaper daily. If you guys have not started it, at time we recommend to read newspaper right from day one. We don't even ask students to wait for cat. The day they join us, we recommend them to read a good English newspaper daily. In case you have not started that, today is a good time to start. Don't wait for your GWPI calls and say then I will start. You need to start today, because they can ask any topic, anything can come, and then you might feel missed out. Any good English newspaper will do. Yes, Time magazines, which we give monthly to our students, are also a very good way to read about the happening topics around the world. The next are abstract topics. Now, abstract topics are uh, something which you can interpret as per your, you can say, your thinking, your idea. Abstract topic, different people will interpret it in different ways. There is no fixed thinking on this. There is no yes or no like on or like thing on these abstract topics. They are usually looks like vague, but it all depends on your creativity, your out of the box thinking, and that is why they are sometimes considered very difficult as well, right? So one of the sample topic is white, nothing else, just the word white. Now you can speak about the color white, you can speak about the word white, you can even speak about the spelling white, whatever you wish to. Okay, you can say white is peace, you can say white is a part of flag of India, anything from wherever you wish to bring in white, you can bring. Green is better than red. Okay, a chain is as strong as its weakest link. Grass is green, sky is blue. Okay, one of the you can say most creative topic, it was used by IIMs more than 2 decades ago. pink pajamas hanging from the red fort. Now, these topics typically sound as vague initially. I, me, my, a question mark. They'll give you a question mark, right? But here, as I said, your creativity plays a role. So you need to be creative, be thinking here. And there is no good or bad, you can say, interpretation here. It all depends how you like to interpret the particular topic. Okay. Different people can have different interpretations, which is completely fine. But again, a good reading of newspaper will help you a lot here as well. Now, on what basis you are selected? What are the parameters? The first is obviously content, what you speak. Communication skills. Your body language, as I said, matters more than your verbal communication. Your hand movement. Okay. Some people have habit of shaking their legs. Please don't do that in a GD. As I said, your full body will be visible. Okay. Some people have habit of using their hands very extensively. Please don't use that. Limit that. Your chair is typically your territory, right? So many things count. How you use your hands, whether you are talking open ended, close ended, okay, and that is very much visible for your hands, from your hands, right? If your hand is typically in this fashion, I don't know if I'm clearly visible, but if typically your hand is with the palms down, it's more like a close-ended discussion, wherein that means that you know what you are speaking. If your palms are up, it means it's an open-ended, and yes, you are ready to change your viewpoint. So do observe the communication skills of others, do observe the body language of others, and also make sure that your body language is good. Group behavior. Of course, how much you give respect to others. Don't use the words like, I agree with you, what you have said is wrong. No, what the group was discussing. So always go in the discussion. Never go personal. Never go one-on-one. Good or bad, don't bring personal things there. Means don't get personal with people. Leadership skills. Now, many a times you might see that the group is not on the point. They are discussing something which they shouldn't, something which is not right, something which is not required. So, do you have the ability to bring the group back to the point of discussion? Do you have the ability? Let's say you have been told that in the end you have to come to a consensus. Sometimes you are given a GD with different things and you are told to come at a consensus at the end. Are you trying to bring to that consensus, or are you adding nuisance to that discussion? Everything counts. Content, yes, content is king. What is most important parameter is the how many new dimensions you have given to the topic. Have you brought in something new? The more dimensions you give, the more points you get. How to improve? To improve the content, of course, you need to be well read. That goes without saying. You need to know across topics. Okay, there can be technical topics as well, so you need to read across topics, especially the current affairs. GDs are mostly based on current affairs, though not always, but mostly, right? So that is where your newspapers are going to help you. That is where Time magazines are going to help you. The material given by Time for GWPI preparation, the GK preparation, they will help you for building the history as well, right? So that is one thing. The other is a structured approach to content, which will come a few minutes later. We'll discuss that also as well. Communication skills, as I said, both verbal and non-verbal are very important. Okay. Always talk in English. No vernacular language, please. No vernacular language. Many people, especially from North, have an habit of using a word, let's say, matlab. Or some people might say, please try to avoid that. Only formal English language, no slangs, please. Use formal English language. Okay. And as I said, body language is perhaps the biggest factor. You should be assertive. You should be assertive in what you speak. Okay. Not authoritarian. Group behavior, well, it is tested how you respect the group dynamic? Do you let others also to speak? Right? Do you actually see eye to eye when others are speaking, which is very much required? Or you are just, okay, you go on, I'm just thinking my point, I'll bring in my point whenever my times come. I'll wait for maybe a minute and then I'll speak. No, please don't do that. Please give respect to everybody. Everybody. Let's say if somebody is nervous there and stammering, which is a very common phenomena, please don't try to cut them in between. Let them finish their point. Give respect to all your teammates there. Yes, they are your competitor, no doubt about that. But it all depends how you as a human give respect to other humans sitting with you there. So tomorrow, if you become a manager, if you become, let's say, a CEO or a board member, which I hope all of you become, it's always how you treat your team. Yes, your ideas count, but how you treat your team also counts along with it. So you need to know how to treat the people who are sitting on the same desk as you. Okay, so please display good behavior. Listening is a very, very good art. Yes, GD is about speaking, but more than speaking, it is also about listening. It's a discussion where you also speak, others also get a chance to speak. Again, body language, very important. As I said, look into the eyes of others who are speaking. Disagree, don't be disagreeing directly. Oh, no, I don't agree with this. Oh, no, this is a wrong point. I totally disagree with what group was saying. No, don't do this. Just say, my viewpoint is so and so. I have these and these reasons to not to agree to this point, which is very much okay. But give your viewpoints. It's not, as I said, it's not a debate whether you are for or against a topic, but it's a discussion where you're free to disagree, but at least be respectful in disagree. Be respectful. Don't try to be make a joke of others' point or something like that. Be respectful. Leadership, of course. Now, who is leader? Consider as leader somebody who brings the group back to what is required. If let's say consensus is required, or maybe you have to summarize, whatever, you have to give new direction to the discussion, people are not able to come up with a new point, whatever, that is where the person will be considered leader. And believe me, there can be more than one leader. So don't worry if somebody has already done that. Sometimes it's good to join the bandwagon of leaders, sometimes it's good to become another leader as well. Okay. Yes, if everybody understands what is group required, everybody can score high marks as a leader. Don't worry. Okay. If, as I said, if someone has become a leader, it's better to join them or become yourself another leader as well. But not, it's not that it's a politics that you have to be against them. Okay. Please avoid addressing other students with their names. You know, what will happen if I say Mr. So and so has spoken this point, who might be your friend? You are giving an impression that that particular person's name is important. He has given a right point instead of giving making yourself heard. Please don't do that. Again, it's eventually a competition as well. Okay. No one-on-one conversation, please. It always address the group. Always address the group. No eye contact with the moderator. Not at all. During the GD, it's a big no. No aggression. Sit in your seat, speak. As I said, be aggressive, be assertive. It's good to be assertive, but it's never good to be aggressive. Any racist, obscene statement, be respectful to everybody. Let's say, I'm just quoting, let's say today, let's talk about Prime Minister and leader of opposition. You may not like one of them, which is perfectly fine. But if, let's say, if you are speaking about political topic or something like that, you need to be respectful to both of them. So Mr. Narendra Modi, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, or the Prime Minister, the leader of opposition. Give respect to both of them. None of them is a dreaded criminal. Okay. Both of them are respected personality in politics. You may like them, you may not like them, which is perfectly fine, which nobody will question in a democracy like India. But you cannot be making wrong remarks against any one of them, or maybe any other leader as well. Okay. In fact, let me put it very clearly, maybe except for terrorists, you should be respectful while speaking for anybody. Okay. It's always good to take middle path, especially in controversial topic. But again, give points both for and against, to maybe show that you are okay with this, that, and maybe to a certain degree. Yeah. Please don't ask questions. Yes, you can ask question if you are answering also in the same breath. Summarize only when asked. Only if the moderator asks to summarize. Or if they have initially said that after 10 minutes you guys need to summarize. Please don't end the GD. You cannot say, oh, 10 minutes done, we are over. No. Let moderators decide that. They might have said 10 minutes. They might want you to maybe continue for 12, 13 minutes. They might even, in the end, ask somebody else to speak up. Oh, you have not spoken during the GD. Do you want to speak something? It's perfectly their right. Okay. Now let's come to the second part, which is VAT. So VAT is more like a GD on paper. It was introduced by IIM Ahmedabad in 2012. Now VAT can be basically having various names. It can be written ability test, written analysis test, written task, or IMT calls it critical thinking test. IIM Ahmedabad themselves call it analytical writing test. Uh, SIMC calls it creative writing. So various institutes gives various names. Okay. Some institute might even ask you to maybe write an SOP, which is not typically like that, but yeah, very close to that. Again, your writing skills are also measured there, right? In addition to your critical thinking, your analytical thinking, whichever way you want to call it. So VAT are usually current affairs based, just like GD, as we said, mostly current affairs based. They also, like GD, evaluate your content, your thought process, how you think, how you connect various things. Okay. Surroundings. What is meant by surrounding is your environment, maybe political environment, maybe social environment, whatever is happening in the world. That's surroundings. Here, more of your verbal communication skills come into play. And please understand, you won't have Grammarly or uh, spell check. Let's say if you have this exercise during your GWPI in the institute. But some colleges even ask you to write such things beforehand. Okay, especially SOP, which they will ask you while filling the forms. Means you'll have to again fill a form if you get a GDPI call. Let's say from IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Kozhikode, they send you a form and they give you typically 48 to 72 hours to fill that form. Okay, there whatever you write, yes, you can check that for spelling, grammars, everything. But otherwise, you need to be very sure of your grammars and spelling, what you are doing at the institute level. Okay, so understand yourself very clearly. VAT, especially as I said, SOP is very much about you. Very much about you. You need to know yourself beyond academics, beyond your degrees and certificates, beyond your work ex, if you have. Yeah. So you are evaluated on your perspective of various things, ideas, the new, you can say dynamics, which you give, new dimensions, which you give rather, your content, and of course the language. So a good command over written language has to be there. So a good way to think for both GD and VAT to generate ideas is a, you can say, an idea generation technique called SPELT. So SPELT, the full form is social, political, economic, legal, and technical. So every topic, especially the abstract topic, the general topics, even the knowledge-based topics, and VAT, you can think in these 5 different, you can say, scenarios. Okay, so just remember this SPELT. Not all 5 of them will be applicable everywhere, but yes, maybe 3 to 4 will be applicable in many cases. And if you think with this perspective, you will get various ideas. Yeah. Now let's move to the last part of today's discussion, which is personal interview. So why personal interview? First of all, understand this phrase, personal interview. Personal means it's personal. It's about you. Something which is perhaps the easiest part of the whole process because it is about you. And who knows better you than you, right? So you need to just know yourself better. Yes, of course, there are few questions on maybe technical questions, maybe GK based questions, but there are a lot of what we call as HR based questions. Okay, so it's a good place to describe yourself, to present yourself, to bring in your viewpoints, to bring in yourself. So what is to be done before the interview? And this is actually before the whole GWPI exercise, but more important for interview. Research about the institute. Know the institute, know the clubs there, know the courses there. Now let's say just for an example, you have applied for a let's say MICA, Mudra Institute of Communications. You go there and say, sir, I want to do MBA in HR. Now they'll say, we are not known for HR. We are known for marketing. We are known for advertising. We are known for communications. Why you are here for HR if you really want to do HR? So don't do those things. Okay, these are some of the mistakes which you will do. Understand the college as well as the program. Now you cannot do this that let's say XLRI, you got a call for their HR program and you say, sir, I want to be a major in finance. Now you have applied for HR program. Yes, you can be minor in finance. Yes, of course. But your major will be HR only. So understand the program. They'll say, why MBA? Sir, I have I have already done my BMS, that is Bachelor of Management Studies, and I love finance. So I want to do MBA in HR. Come on. Sir, I love numbers, and that is why I want to do MBA and then do in HR. And numbers are used in HR, no doubt about that. But they are more extensively used in finance. They are used a lot in HR. I'm not denying that part. But then you'll have to connect it somewhere. Right? Common interview questions. Yes, why MBA is one of them. Why so and so institute? We'll come to more such common questions in further slides. Set of examples, very important. As I said, it is about you. So if I ask you, okay, a scenario where your leadership skills save the day, you might say, sir, I have leadership skills. Oh, great. Where it saved the day. Now you might think, sir, I have not done any job. How can I show leadership skills? That's okay. Who told you that a job is required for leadership skills? You can show it even in your college fest, even in your cousin's wedding, any scenario, even on the road. But be ready with examples. Be ready to be cross-questioned on them. Okay. Also think of at least 2 to 3 good questions which you will like to ask to the panelist about the institute. And please don't ask obvious questions. Sir, placement, will I get a job, no? Yeah. Sir, you have written average as 20 lakh. So, sir, 15 lakh to I'll get na per annum. Please don't ask such questions. Okay. Don't ask, sir, how many credits I'll have to take in year 2? They might be already mentioned in the website. Sir, what is your finance group, uh, student group or the club? Already it might be there somewhere on the internet. So do your research well and ask good questions. Prepare good questions which you think are also relevant to your profile, also relevant to your decision whether to join the institute or not. Okay. Always practice mocks. Always give mocks. So whether you are a time student or not a time student, you can always walk into the nearest time center or online and enroll with us for these mock interviews and related preparation. Okay. It's always good to have a copy of your resume or SOP or even the form which is given to you, wherein you have answered the questions. Typically carry 3 to 5 copies. It's okay if they don't ask for it, but what if they ask? Please confirm the address and also using Google Map or whatever. Okay, please be on time. Last year it happened with one student. He reached, his reporting time was 8:15. He reached the center at 8:15, but by the time he reached the registration desk, it was 8:16. The person at the registration desk said, please come again next year. Okay, that's how strict most of the institutes are for time. It's always good to reach early. It's always good to reach early, even if you are reaching 1 hour, 2 hour early, but don't be late. Okay, dress for success or dress to impress. We'll talk about dress as well. Please get a good night's sleep. The research has very clearly shown the sleep scientists have researched it, that the night sleep has got an impact on our brain for next 5 to 7 days, not even a single day. If we don't get a good sleep on a particular day, which is typically let's say 6 to 7 hours for youngsters like you, it has an impact on our learning process for next 5 to 7 days. Also, another research has shown that we are angry primarily because of two reasons. More than 95% cases, people are angry because of two reasons. One, they do not have a good sleep. Two, they are hungry. So don't eat too much, eat well. Again, scientists have shown that, research have shown, eat 80% of your stomach's requirement. Okay. As a good old saying go, eat when you are hungry and eat till you are hungry. Means typically fill around 80% of your stomach. So get a nice breakfast or lunch, whatever is required, but not too much, and a good night's sleep. Okay. I think we have already discussed the last point. Yeah. What to carry along? Okay. So academic certificates, original will be better. Extracurricular certificates, whatever you wish to show. Copy of your resume, your SOP, or the forms, as we have already discussed. It's also good to carry at least 3 passport size photos. Any government approved ID can do, but mostly to nowadays people carry Aadhaar card or maybe PAN card or driving license, election voter ID, anything can do. Copies of form filled, I already said. Few blank papers, sometimes they might come handy. Stationery means your pen and everything. And if required, a copy of the mail sent for you to give you a call. And please keep all of them in a folder. Also remember to completely switch off your mobile phones during the process. And also make sure there is no alarm set on that mobile phone during those time period. Okay, this actually happened with a student. We know that for some reason the student has put in an alarm of 11 a.m. and maybe few days ago or something, and suddenly during the process that alarm went on. Okay, which also goes on, as you know, even when your mobile is switched off. So please check that. Coming to the dresses, yes, dress to impress, dress for success. So if you are a male, a long sleeve shirt will only do. No half sleeves, please. No folded sleeves, please. Okay. Solid colors or stripes only. No printed shirts. Okay. A blazer, of course, depends on the climate as well, but usually because this process happens in month January to March, in most of the I'll say half of the country at least, it's a bit cold there, so blazer is anyway good. But even in other places it is good to wear blazers, because anyway most of the centers or nearly all will have air conditioners. Only leather shoes with belt of same color, black or brown, no other color please. Okay. Well combed hairs, professional hairs, it's okay if you want to keep long hairs or whatever, but at least be neatly tied. Trimmed and no beard. Trimmed or no beard, okay? No full beard unless and until, of course, your religious belief ask you to do that. Otherwise, it's always better to have a trimmed beard, or best is to be clean shaved. Minimum jewelry. No dangling earrings or big gold chains or something to show off. Please, you are there to show off your skills, not your money. Yeah. Coming to females, a blouse and a trouser or a skirt will do, but skirt should be minimum knee length. And as I said, you'll be typically sitting in a group, so make sure whatever you wear, you are comfortable with that. Blazer, again, if you are comfortable with it. Even a tie you can wear if you are comfortable, though not recommended usually for girls. Conservative shoes, please no heels. Heels usually make sound on different types of surfaces. What if the floor is wooden? There you don't know, and if it makes loud noise, it's sometimes irritating. Okay, professionally tied here. Again, no big clips or something, but yes, of course, keep it minimum. Light makeup with light perfume. Okay, not very heavy perfume, so that the maybe interviewers remember till evening that, oh, I was wearing such a nice perfume. No, please don't do that. Okay, again, minimum jewelry, just like boys. Now, different types of interviews. So we have regular interviews, which are in person, can be normal, usual interview, or can be a stress interview. Though over the previous decades and a half, we have seen stress interviews are now very rare. Okay. And of course, there are online interviews. Like Symbiosis, all group of institutions only take online interviews. Yeah. So stress interviews, what are stress interviews? Typically, stress interview is when in the people will see how you behave under extreme stress conditions. They might even ask, will, let's say, they'll not abuse you, of course, but they will try to say, oh, your degree is useless, oh, you don't know anything, oh, this what you have done is wrong. Whatever example you give, they might laugh on that. They might laugh on your resume, on your answers, just to show that you are worthless. Now, it depends on you how you react. Whether you take that into sporting spirit, you defend yourself nicely, or you go back, you get under stress, you literally cry or you shout, and or you sometimes even move out of the room directly. That's what they are trying to see. They are not meaning what they say. The intention is to not to show you in a wrong light. Please understand. Their intention is to see how you behave. If you still behave like a professional, you have made your mark. But if you start crying, if you start shouting, if you just go numb, if you just move out of the room, you are done. Yeah. So for an online interviews, please keep these points in mind. You need a good internet connection with a backup. You might have a broadband at home, still maybe keep some phones ready if required. A very good laptop with good webcam, mic, headphone, everything. And please, please, please check that 10-15 minutes before your reporting time as well, and even a day before as well. And if required, keep a backup. Your face should be properly lit, your body should be properly lit, and a nice background. Okay, make sure you tell people at your home not to make noise during that process. Your dress code will still remain the same. During COVID, many of you might have seen bloopers wherein people thought camera is not on, or they thought, oh, only the torso or the upper part of my body is visible, and eventually they made a fun of themselves. Please don't do that. Okay, one of the panel of one of the IM during COVID actually asked the student to walk to stand up and walk around to see whether they are fully properly dressed or not, including shoes. So please, even in case of online interview, don't take your dressing lightly. Eye contact, of course, you can have contact with the laptop or the desktop screen as well, which shows where you are seeing. It should not happen you are seeing, oh, somewhere else, and just speaking, thinking they are not bothered. They are bothered. Okay, your body language, your hands movement still matter. If there is a technical glitch, it's always good to send a message. Sir, I'll be back in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I'm trying to log in from some other system. And that is where your backup comes into play. Okay. Keep your laptop properly charged, please. So is your maybe your headphones or whatever. Okay. Again, use formal language. Body language matters a lot, everywhere. Address all interviewers. Oh, I'll only look towards the ma'am. I'll not see sir. I don't like his way of looking at me. Don't do that, please. Whenever you answer, look into eyes of both of them one by one. Give equal importance to them. Listen to the question. Don't cut them in between. Okay? Be a good listener. Very important. If you don't know the answer, it's okay to say, sir, I don't know. Ma'am, I don't know. Maybe if I can guess, Maybe if I can take a chance, please tell them upfront. I don't know. I've not heard this, or this is what I know. This is what I don't know. Just perfectly okay. Even if you know 60 to 70% of the questions, that is fine. Yeah. Now, what are the different types of questions they'll be asking? So first is the introduction related questions, personality related, career related, GK and current affairs, very important, academic subject related, and then some miscellaneous questions which might be asked by various institutes. Okay. So in introduction, these are some of the very common questions, and answer to these questions should be readily available with you. Okay. Tell me something about yourself, or tell us about yourself, or maybe introduce yourself. Don't only read your resume here. It's about you, not your qualifications. Your family background, maybe your parents, maybe your siblings, maybe your grandparents, maybe your uncle, aunties, whatever you wish to bring in. What is meant by your name? Why your name was kept this only? Okay, about your hometown, maybe about your home state, right? Last year in cap round, many students were asked, oh, so you are now living in Maharashtra, but let's say you're basically from UP. So how many districts are there in UP? What is the GDP of UP? Even such questions were asked about home state. So be ready with those answers. Personality related, what are your strength, weakness, hobbies, role models? And you cannot say, sir, my hobby is chess. Then they'll ask you, okay, what do you know about Koneru hobby? Who is she, sir? I don't know. No, please don't do that. So if you say chess, you need to know a bit about chess players. If you say cricket, one of the very common questions, though about 2 decades ago, it used to be for people who say cricket as the hobby, in how many ways can a batter, those days we used to call it batsman, but now there is a gender neutral word by ICC. So in how many ways can a batter get out in cricket? Yeah. So you need to know what is the weight of the football used in professional matches. You cannot say, sir, it is size 5. No, you need to know the weight. You need to know the diameter. Yeah. Career related questions. Why MBA? Why us? Why not continue working? Where you see yourself 10 years, 20 years from now, and so on. GK and current affairs, of course, very important. And this is again where your newspapers, your Time magazines, the books provided by Time, and the GK questions provided by us will help you a lot. Okay. Academic subjects. Now, again, mostly they ask you your top 3 favorite subject or your best subject from your degree, and they'll question you on that. Okay. So we have a question on the live chat. By when will time mocks begin? So to answer your question, the mocks have already by and large begun, right? Because as I said, you cannot be ready within a day. So typically, let's say by second week of January, you'll start getting calls from the top IIMs. And as I said, Great Lakes has already started giving calls today as we are having this session. So the mocks have already begun for the students who have started receiving calls and who are expected to receive calls from good institutes. So, but yes, of course, it will all depend by from center to center and by when you join. So there will be mocks accordingly planned for you. Long hair for men is also fine. Yes, of course it is fine, but again, it all depends how you carry them. It all depends. They should be neatly tied. They should not be colored. Of course, they should not be colored or something. They should be formal hairs, right? And as I said, properly tied. And please make sure you just put maybe a black rubber band or something. Rubber band, I mean by the hair bands. Okay, nothing else. Okay, the not a fancy clip or something, even for males as well as for females. Yeah. So I hope I have answered these questions. Okay. Now coming to academic subjects, of course, you cannot say, sir, I did my degree 3 years ago. Now I'm working. Please ask me only from my work experience related questions. No, they have full authority still to ask you from your academic subjects. Now, there can be some miscellaneous questions. Why should we select you? If we don't select you, what will you do? Happiest moment of life. Again, as I said, you need to be ready with stories from your side. Puzzles, yes. I am Calcutta ask a lot of puzzles, so are others, but I am Calcutta is very high on us. And any questions for us, which I have already told you to prepare maybe 2-3 questions to ask to the institute. Yeah. So again, as I've given you a technique to prepare for VAT and GD, similarly here, when you give a story, when you tell that this was the scenario, this was the something which happened with me, and I showed so and so skills, the best way is STAR technique. So describe the situation, the task, the action, and the result. It's always good to go in a structured manner. And please remember, typically you need to answer this within a minute. Don't go on describing. You are not a storyteller. You might be, but not here. You are not maybe telling them a story for a film. You're just telling what happened and how you showed your skills, right? Uh, there is again a question on YouTube link. Any info regarding SPGen profile based call? Well, SPGen we are expecting should give a call within a week or so, as per the previous years. So, at any time soon, you can expect, right? They have not given a date as such, but yes, anytime soon you can expect calls to come from SPGen as well, right? So that's it from my side, and I'll wait for few minutes, about a minute more. In case you guys have any question, anything, please type it out on YouTube tab chat, and I'll be more than happy to revert to you on that. So just to inform you guys in the meantime, time centers all over India will, and of course through our website, you can enroll both the ways, whichever way you like. We will have both online programs for students who are maybe living in remote places or maybe who do not have time to visit a center. And we will also have offline programs at all our centers across India. Okay, so we have a complete GWPI briefcase for all of you, wherein you will get previous year's topics. You will, as I said, a lot of GK inputs. You will get questions from previous year's interviews basis the student profile and the institute. So let's say an SP Gen, what do they ask to a mechanical engineer? What they ask to a let's say a BCom student or maybe to a BDS student. So you'll get those questions. You'll get those different GD topics over the years, different VAT topics, and of course you'll get mock interviews. You'll get mock GDs. You'll also your SOPs will be evaluated wherever you wish to, and also there'll be session on VAT and other things into detail about all these things, right? So as I said, enrollment has already started. So those of you who are interested, you can visit our website www.timeforeducation.com, or you can visit any of our nearly 200 centers across the country and enroll yourself for these programs, right? So I guess there is no further question on YouTube. So YouTube chat. So all the best to all of you, and thank you very much uh, for attending this session. And I hope you all do good in life. All the best.